As it's going down your throat, it feels very nice and warm, almost like a thicker version of warm milk, but obviously it's got that very strong chemical taste to it.
Number 10, Born in the Wild. Childbirth isn't easy, even under the best circumstances. However, this show took things to the next level.
I'm excited to have my baby outside in Alaska. We're surrounded by the lake, the trees, and the clouds and the mountains. It's absolutely breathtaking.
In the spring of 2015, the Lifetime Network conducted an experiment that pushed the boundaries of its viewers, its on-screen talent, and even the medical community. Born in the Wild features families with a love of nature who have agreed to birth their children in the great outdoors.
I'm just listening so that I can hear if she's going to progress to the point where maybe I need to help. I just hear her screaming, and I'm starting to get worried.
That is, with no medical assistance or conveniences of modern medicine. The graphic footage, even the censored version, was hard enough for the squeamish. The show's commitment to emotional and sensationalist story beats, in which there's a tremendous chance of something going horribly wrong, made a lot of stomachs turn.
At some point, you just have to make do.
And you know, I just wanted everything to be perfect, and I had this vision of how it's all going to look.
She has an idea in her head and just trying to figure out what she wants.
Number 9, Claim to Fame. While the premise of this recent ABC series might have inspired some eye rolls, Claim to Fame itself doesn't usually show anything so graphic that it might make someone sick.
What's that smell?
To make it in Hollywood, you gotta swim with the sharks.
Oh, God.
Each of you has a barrel. Crack them open and take a look.
However, in a particularly repugnant challenge, the relatives of celebrities were required to dig through a bucket of rotting fish chum to find a trophy. By the end, they were retching, but they were able to keep it together.
Go! Get in there! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I feel
It was the viewers who were most repulsed, and many took to Twitter to voice their displeasure at the challenge. You have to wonder if Tom Hanks' niece didn't feel a little better after getting the boot in the first episode once she saw this.
I didn't even get to do any challenges!
Number 8, My 600-Pound Life. TLC has made a niche for itself, covering extreme and dysfunctional lifestyles.
The mornings are the worst part of my day. And I hate waking up because of how hard and painful it is being in this body now.
This program positions itself as an intervention, but before the help comes, viewers are treated to various images of people living desperate lives. The people at the center of these stories are often experiencing health crises, pain, and limited mobility as a result of their condition.
Food is my only escape from the misery I have. You know, once I start, I don't want to stop.
Using sensationalist footage of their daily lives, My 600-Pound Life plays up the large and unhealthy meals participants eat in front of the cameras.
Even before I eat, just the smell lets me know that things are about to get better. There's almost nothing in this world that can compare to the feeling of taking that first bite.
Commentary from their family and friends isn't much better, with some even describing their own revulsion at the way their overweight loved one eats. Number 7, Hoarders. Whether it's grief, compulsion, or disability, the cases of hoarding featured on the show are always emotionally wrought and complicated.
I've had periods of poverty where I haven't had a choice of what I could eat. That affected me really, really severely to the point now where I want to always have a choice.
What isn't complicated is just how uninhabitable and in some cases unsafe the conditions of these homes become. Many episodes of Hoarders come to a head because the health of the resident is being compromised. Helpers often become sick from the filth, if not the smell.
I hate it. She lives in a really horrible situation.
As they retch or fight for a breath of fresh air, it's apparent that someone living in these conditions is at risk. It's no picnic for the person watching at home either. Some of these places you can smell just looking at them.
It just got worse and worse over time. We tried throwing things out, we tried cleaning, we tried doing it with her, we tried doing it behind her back, but it didn't help.
Number 6, Scream Queens. This VH1 reality competition was created to find the next horror movie Scream Queen.
I want this so bad.
Yeah, we all do.
Like, see me, hello. It's so important that I stand out. I want to be different. I want to show the judges I can do this. So I'm going to go even harder.
Performing their own stunts amid the simulated blood and guts, these aspiring actresses were put through the paces. In the second season, they were tasked with acting alongside thousands of co-stars. Of course, these co-stars were not human. They were live maggots.
You'll be lightly hit on the head by something. You look up to see what it is, then thousands of maggots will come raining down on you.
dropped down from the ceiling onto the contestants as they acted out their scene. The ones who failed to keep their composure were threatened with elimination. It would have been one thing if the maggots had just been dumped on them, but once the screaming actresses started getting the creepy crawlies in their mouths, it was a wrap. Number 5. Dr. Pimple Popper. If pimples, cysts, and pus excite you as much as they do Dr. Sandra Lee, this show is for you.
My first impression of Jacqueline's bump is, yeah, it's pretty big. I would say it's within the top 20 or so lipomas, and you know, bigger is not better.
For the rest of us, Dr. Pimple Popper is a nightmare of body horror, featuring patients who are dealing with abnormally large growths, stubborn blemishes, and various other skin disorders. The show balances out the ick factor with some fun.
I have been waiting to see you. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
And just my little initial peek, I don't see something over your shoulder.
Dr. Lee is incredibly charming. She clearly loves her job and cares deeply for her patients. Given its graphic and often uncensored up-close and personal look at bursting sacs and bodily fluids, it's probably best to watch Dr. Pimple Popper on an empty stomach.
Can I take a close look and see? Do you mind if I do that? Let's take a look at what you got here.
Number 4. Trauma. Life in the ER. Presented in cinema verite style, this early Emmy-nominated documentary series sought to give the audience a front-seat view of a real emergency room.
You are flown out to a scene where you never know what to expect. You're supposed to be prepared for anything, any age group, any type of injury. It's assessment skills based on the scene, and you're truly starting from square one.
Traveling around the country, the crew wasn't afraid to show us close-ups of trauma patients, burn victims, and anyone who needed care. Episodes even showed patients dying in some cases. Controversy regarding patient privacy and ethics dogged the show during its run.
He's doing great. By the time he got to the emergency room, he didn't have any pain. All the pain was gone. I think he had a little bit of neck pain when he was there, a little bit of stomach pain when he was there. When he got here, everything was fine.
But most effective and disturbing was that the show really lived up to its name. It never shied away from the truth of life in the emergency room, gaping wounds and all. Let's just say blood wasn't the worst thing you would see on this program. Number 3. My Strange Addiction. True to its name, this show often went beyond what you would call ordinary. To produce My Strange Addiction, camera crews descended on the homes of people who had some very specific and often unbelievable compulsions.
As it's going down your throat, it feels very nice and warm, almost like a thicker version of warm milk, but obviously it's got that very strong chemical taste to it, which is perfect to me.
For every collector of odd dolls and purveyor of bizarre hobbies, there were those who took things a step further. Some of the participants had unhealthy obsessions with growing out their toenails, chewing on dirty diapers, and drinking their own urine, to name a few.
I like warm pee. It's comforting.
The show would very specifically illustrate how these situations arose and the sometimes extremely complicated processes they involved. Outside of the effect on the viewer, many of the episodes dealt with people whose health was threatened by their addictions.
How's that feel?
Can't feel that.
You cannot feel that. This is where your nerves have been affected from the toxicity.
Number 2. The Boulet Brothers' Dragula. This punk and horror-inspired competition may be a drag show, but is not all concerned with being pretty. Dragula is a celebration of filth and degradation. On this show, you aren't just eliminated, you're exterminated in a staged murder scene. Past challenges have involved avoiding electric shocks, body modification, and eating cow organs. These drag artists are tasked with finding the beauty in the grotesque. And as in any competition, the point is to outdo everyone else.
I feel like I'm doing my best, and if people feel like that's not good enough, I mean, this is a really tough competition, so.
However, the most disgusting display of one-upmanship may have been when competitor Vander Von Odd vomited on stage and then ate it. If you needed to know anything else about the ethos of Dragula, just know that Vander would go on to win the season.
So much. Thank you. Welcome to the family.
Go forth and spread the gospel of filth, horror, and glamour.
Number 1. Jackass. From the moment it premiered on MTV, Jackass was a certified hit.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
This low-budget phenomenon featured Johnny Knoxville and pals Bam Margera, Steve-O, and many, many others completing increasingly obnoxious, dangerous, and disgusting stunts. An early episode involving an unusual and sickening way of transporting a goldfish to a fishbowl set the tone for the franchise.
Now, none of these fish are going to be hurt, are they?
Nah. I want to swallow this goldfish and puke him into the bowl.
If it involved humiliation or bodily excretions, human or animal, it was fair game. Once the boys made the jump to the big screen, the gross-outs just got more extreme, if you can believe it. But their legacy began on MTV, with only a shoestring budget and a strong stomach to guide them.
These guys are crazy.
Did this list make you squeamish? Let us know in the comments.
That's disgusting.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.